that's beyond your understanding. That's emotional. That's very deep love. Hello guys, welcome to Reactophile. I'm Hernur and he's Carl.
Today we are on our way to see Sui Dhaaga, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sui Dhaaga, the exciting film from Bollywood?
Yeah.
Collywood?
Bollywood. Yeah.
From Bollywood. About a young man coming of age in a world of big business and trying to make his way as a young entrepreneur, but he also has some problems with his wife or something.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for the exciting conclusion.
Yes. So we will see you guys after watching the movie.
Here we are, sitting in Carl's car, just having watched Sui Dhaaga.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Honestly, I don't think that I'm a fair critic of the film because it's not native to my culture, but I will say that I thought it was adorable. I thought that there were a lot of actually really cute moments about the film that I really liked, but it's hard for me to say if I think it's cute because I'm ignorant about about India, so it just seems cute because I'm naive, or if it was actually a cute movie. But I will say I felt like the reaction from the audience was fairly positive. So mindless entertainment, yeah, a little bit. It's a little bit mindless. There are certainly moments where I felt like it could have actually been a potentially great film if it was just more willing to reach into that darkness.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because look, spoiler alert. And actually, no, this isn't a spoiler because it's part of the trailer. A lot of the film is dealing with, poverty in India, which I assume is infinitely more crushing than poverty in the United States, right?
Yeah.
But it's never really willing to, as a film, it's never really willing to explore the desperation that comes with poverty, especially urban poverty in a third world country.
Yeah.
Now, having lived in a third world country once before, I can tell you that my experience personally, it's not all happy endings and love songs and stuff like that. I thought it had and again, maybe this is just my foreignness, but I thought it had an interesting exploration of the arranged marriage situation. You know what I mean? That's something I've never seen in Bollywood. It's always, romance marriages, love marriages, whatever you guys call them. So I thought that was interesting. I also give it points for exploring poverty, even though it did it in a largely superficial way. Like, for example, yeah, they're living on whatever 1,000 rupees a month or whatever it is, but their house is perfectly clean. You know what I mean? Like, you never see there's no shit in the street. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really. All their clothes are pressed and all their clothes look nice. That's not what poverty looks like here in Atlanta. I doubt that that's what poverty looks like.
No, that's not poverty. That's
New Delhi.
That's low class family. Every person in the lower class families can relate to it. For example, we also have drivers and maids, servants, but we call them helpers in a polite way. So they are in the same situation. They want to grow in their career, but they cannot. They can just dream about it. And this movie shows how they can fulfill their dreams. That's the best thing about the movie. And really, I really like that. I could relate that because I've seen those rude things happening around me. Rude things towards drivers, maids, servants. And I don't like that at all. And I really like that they showed it so well. That was the best moment in the movie. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I give it points for exploring poverty, but here's the thing, as a viewer who is, this is where it becomes difficult for me, because when I watch a movie like that, what I'm looking for is an exploration of a world that I don't understand, right? Or that I will never really experience.
Yeah.
But the reason why it's difficult, the reason why I feel like it's not fair for me to judge the film per se, is because I expect that there are people that are living in that situation watching this kind of film, and they're looking for something different. You know what I mean? Like they're looking for the happy ending to that story. Whereas I'm looking for like a sincere existential exploration
Yeah.
of that life. So, you know, it's not for me. It's obviously, the movie is obviously not for me. So, you know, I give it a 7 out of 10. I thought that was a fair rating. You know what I mean? Like a 3 stars. I think that's pretty fair.
I'll give it 8.5 out of 10, or you can say 3.5 or 4 out of 5, because it explored things that happen in a lower class family very, very well. But I mean, the entrepreneurship, the business, the way they did could have been better, because they got lucky when they found business when her mom went to the hospital. That's luck. That's not hard work, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So I mean, that's I think that was way too easy. That never happens. That never happens in real business, and I have never seen that happening in anyone's life. That you get suddenly lucky. You start a business today and you become successful. You earn your first money out of your business the second day. I mean, that never happens, right?
No, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, we've been doing this channel for almost a year.
Yeah.
We still haven't made any money. So yeah. You know, I want to explore the husband and wife thing a little bit more here, because this is actually another thing that I think that most married men, particularly married men in lower or middle class America, can relate to. And I thought it was done fairly well, with just like the nagging wife that is just totally dissatisfied with the current situation and just doesn't care. Like, it's just willing to risk everything to find herself in a better financial situation. I guess that translates very well, because I definitely deal with that, you know, as someone who's in a graduate degree, you know, with a wife that works full time. So it was one thing that I can honestly say I related to, that bridged the gap between me and the main character. And I thought it was done pretty well. I will say, you know, it's not that kind of movie. Like, it was definitely a feel-good kind of a film, but I would have appreciated, just because I'm a cynical person, I would have appreciated more of a conflict between the husband and the wife. What's her name? Mamita? Mamta.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have appreciated like a darker exploration of that.
Yeah, that could have been. Yeah, they didn't fight at all. I mean, they fought, but a little bit.
Yeah, they fought, but it was very
cute.
It was cute fighting, you know. It was
Yeah.
feel good fighting. If it had been more of a, especially with a 2-hour movie, you know what I mean? It's like you could have done more to, first of all, explore the fact that it was an arranged marriage.
Yeah.
And secondly, explore more of like a bad relationship that evolves into a loving relationship over the course of sort of this conflict. I felt like it was kind of just arbitrary when they began to be affectionate towards one another. Am I wrong in thinking that?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah.
So you know, she's dissatisfied, she's embarrassed about his work, and he just immediately quits his job, even though they've never held hands before. Like, he respects her opinion so much, or it's just not really there for me.
Yeah, I mean, that was a little bit of lie, or
well, because in the beginning of the movie, it's not really clear, at least to me as a foreigner, it's not really clear what the dynamic of their relationship really is.
Yeah.
So, you know, she is obviously humiliated to have a lower class husband, which is totally understandable, but it's like he's also humiliated by his poverty, which I think that's an excellent theme, and I appreciate that it went there. But the fact that he immediately quits his job almost as a result of her consideration, like as a result of her shame, but then later in the movie, it's like they don't really have that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
Like, it's never, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Fuck if I know how an arranged marriage works, you know,
Yeah,
but
that's beyond
it seems a little inconsistent.
Yeah, that's beyond your understanding. That's emotional. That's very deep love. I mean, that never happens. I mean, I've never seen that happening, that that a man never touches
Holds hands.
Yeah.
That a man never holds hands with his wife?
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen that happening. I mean,
how many arranged marriages are you familiar with?
I'm talking about the things that happen around me. My uncle's home, my grandparents' home, my aunt's home. So in those marriages, I've seen that they at least hold hands, right? Yeah, that happens. Also in movies, I've seen they do. But I mean, that's like a '60s movie that they wouldn't hold hands, right?
Well, no, I don't know. I don't have enough experience to know. Here's what I'm gonna say though: is that if they never held hands, or he never, because at another point in the movie, she says that they never had a meal together.
Wow.
You remember that, right?
That can be true. That can be true. I mean,
how can that be true?
See, she gives breakfast to her husband in the morning. He eats while she's cooking, and then he goes to office, or you can call it where he works as an assistant, right? So then he eats lunch over there, and then he comes back, eat dinner with his father, but not with his wife. When she's
is that
cooking,
supposed to be clear to me? I don't.
So
why would I know this?
When he is eating, his wife is either cooking or either he is at his work. So they never ate lunch or a meal together.
And that is common.
That is common. Yeah, I never ate meal with my grandparents for a month in my finals. So that's also true. So.
Really?
Yeah, my grandparents used to. My grandmother. I mean that my only parent. She used to cook meal for me every day. She used to make breakfast. So like we didn't have any helper at that time. We were poor at that time. So she used to.
So your grandmother would make you breakfast.
Yeah,
and then you would eat separately.
Yeah, and by the time she is cooking for my mom, I will quickly eat and then leave. So. She was very hardworking.
This is very bizarre to me. It's hard for me to understand because here, I mean, you have cooked for me.
Yeah.
It's not like you cooked my food and then I ate and then you cooked your food.
I mean, let's see. My grandmother was to cook for 2 people at the time. While she gave food to me first, then she cooks for my mother and then she cooks for herself. So, this is what
Why
happened.
not just cook all the food at once?
I mean,
and then eat together.
But it will be faster. See, my bus comes at 6 a.m. She's cooking at 5 a.m. and she'll just hand over to me and then continue cooking. So
over the course of like multiple years?
Months, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they seem to have been married for quite a long time.
Yeah.
So
they should have Sundays at least, and yeah, right?
I don't know. I mean, it seems unusual to me, but I'm not native to the culture. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it works.
Okay.
Anything is possible. Okay. Anything is possible. But I will say this, there were certainly inconsistencies in the relationship dynamic. Of course, like no matter what hardship they were faced with, they somehow overcame it in the end, which, okay, it's a feel-good story. I understand that. I totally understand that. But maybe just for one crushing thing to happen that was insurmountable over the course of 2 hours might have enhanced the movie a little bit.
You mean the kissing scene?
No, I mean just the whole experience of the film.
Okay.
In general.
I see. Got it. Yeah.
Well, I guess the only exception to that is the sewing machine thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But it was unique.
But why did they bring their sewing machine in the first place? Like this, I don't understand this part. Does that make sense to you?
See, he used to sew for his family. So he had the machine with him.
The word is sew. I know it's spelled S-E-W, but it's pronounced sew.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
he used to sew.
Yeah, he used to sew clothes for his parents and himself for his wife as well. You saw in the first 10 minutes he sewed his wife's blouse, right? He was sewing that.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, so I mean,
but when he brought his own sewing machine, the one that they got at the weird contest thing about making pillows, I still don't understand what the hell that was all about. They rode a bicycle for 40 kilometers and were working in a warehouse for a couple hours and won a sewing machine. I still don't understand what that was all about.
So see, they were wanting to do their own business, so they wanted to use their own.
No, I understand. What part of everything I just said makes you think I don't understand their motivation?
Yeah,
I know the motivation for why they did it. What I don't understand is what kind of a competition gives out a sewing machine.
Yeah, I have never
for
seen
making pillows or whatever.
See, that must be an NGO, new NGO, who wants to fulfill the dreams of lower class families. Yeah, that's what my thinking.
You think so?
Yeah, they are.
That's a very creative thought.
Yeah.
That's a very creative thought.
Yeah, they
I'm
can
not
be.
sure. I'm not sure that I buy it,
Yeah.
but it's certainly creative.
Yeah. I mean, I want to do NGOs as well. I want to offer scholarships for students like me, but that's a future plan after
Robots.
making it. Yeah. Okay. So final thoughts.
Final thoughts. You know, I'm not really a big fan of feel-good movies in general. There are definitely some that pull at my heartstrings. You know, actually, in a bizarre way, this sort of reminded me of Babe, where it's like this story of a poor family that, you know, rise to some kind of a contest and overcome the obstacles of an arguably much more competent team, you know, with like the power of love or whatever, or like whatever it is. Obviously it's a completely different film, but it reminded me of that in the sense that, you know, they win in the end, I guess is basically where I'm going with that. And that, like, no matter what the obstacles were that sort of led up to, you know, the thing that they ultimately, like the contest in the end, you know, they always overcame the obstacles. The one thing I will say about Babe, and I know you probably have no idea what that was, because you never do, because he never does. But the one thing I will say about Babe is that Babe struck that balance of having a family-friendly film that also made references to content that, number one, is adult, but also number two, and this is very hard to do, but number two, made references to adult subjects that only adults could understand. And I felt like, and I felt like this film did not really do that at all. You know, like, there's no reference to any real, I don't want to use the word hardcore because that's like a loaded word, but there's no reference to any true darkness of the human spirit, you know, I mean, except the humiliation of poverty. But even then, it's not explored in a sincere or serious way. You know what I mean? You know, for me, because I'm looking at a culture and I'm looking at a world that isn't native to my understanding. I'm looking for an exploration of things. I'm looking for an insight into something. So I understand that it's not for me. Like this, I'm the only white person in the audience. So this, obviously they're not marketing to me. And that's fine, and I understand that. But if people want to know what my opinion of the film is, like if this is the kind of film that you're going to present to an international audience, and I'm not saying that's what they're trying to do. Yeah. But if it were that kind of a film, you would have to offer something existential. You would have to offer something that speaks to me in a way that invites me into the world in a much more sincere way. And I felt like it was a superficial. I admire it for going there at all, because it's so rare to find films that explore poverty in any way, because it's hard, because it's emotionally testing. Yeah. But I wish that it had been a little bit braver in terms of how dark it was willing to get with that. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. But I will say it was definitely worth watching the movie. The only setback was... It wasn't trash. Yeah. It wasn't trash. You know, I thought I was gonna fall asleep halfway through this, but it wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad. I thought it was a good movie. I'll probably never watch it again. But I thought it was a good movie. Yeah. One more thing, I mean, it was quite obvious. The storyline was quite obvious, because in the first line of Wikipedia where it was written, it's about entrepreneurship, and they're gonna win. That's obvious. I wish there were more surprises. I will say I would have bumped it up to an 8 if they had lost at the end. Yeah. I would have bumped it up to an 8 out of 10 if in the end they had lost that competition. I would have given them 8 as well if they would have lost, and they could have started a business from scratch again and did something more creative in the end, and that could be a business from scratch, just like entrepreneurs do. They don't get any profit for a few months and then they earn profit. Yeah. That was like sudden profits, sudden income. So that's because the reality of the film is, like, you know, he starts as the street vendor, but then he gives up on that, it seems like, almost immediately. Yeah. And then when is the next time that he actually is making his own stuff. It's for the competition.
Yeah.
Which works out immediately.
Yep.
Right? It would have. I agree. You know, if they had lost the competition and then the end of the story is, you know, but don't give up.
Yeah.
I think that's a much stronger message. I think that's a much stronger ending.
Yeah, because like this is not showing the real world thing. Yeah, I get it. It fulfilled the purpose of motivating lower class people. That it did really, really well. I mean, to make it more realistic, then they could have done that. Yeah, I get it. Yep. So that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Namaste.
Goodbye. So I hope. How to end it? Yeah. The same way, right? We do.
Same way we do.
Okay.
Every night.
Okay. Oh, wow, it's stable. So
how's your lighting? Are you white enough?
yeah, I'm wide enough. And also, don't tell anyone there's a toilet paper behind my phone.
What?
That would be gross.
Who gives
People
a
will laugh.
Who fucking cares?
Okay, that's blooper. I mean, I'm just putting in.
Oh, you're just saying that for the fans. So no one gives a shit.
Okay, so we need to
Sync
be
has
taller or.
connected to your phone and is reminding you that 911 assist is set to off.
Okay, so we need to either be taller or the angle needs to be adjusted so that. Yeah, you can take that.
You want
Yeah, exactly.
more face.
Yeah.
I think it's fine the way it is.
Yeah, and now it's fine. So
you need to
be closer. Yeah.
You need to be closer.
Yeah. Perfect. I'm perfect now.
You're
Yeah.
close. Okay.
So once again, welcome back. Okay, you can introduce. I don't know what to say. We have already introduced when we were going back, when we were going to watch the movie. So let's start. You just start.
My God.
Yeah, your responsibility.
Okay, Arnor.
Yeah.
Arnor.
Yeah.
Let's get in the zone here. Okay. Way too much energy.
Yeah.
Okay. Just need to calm the fuck down.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.